this age, content has become very cheap in the age of AI. Taste is expensive. You have to filter for taste. Yeah, sure, it's going to be AI. I'm not saying that using AI is bad or anything. Everyone uses AI and everyone should use AI. It's kind of, your second brain nowadays. If somebody has, spent time making it human, yeah, that matters. In my opinion, crypto Twitter is not dying. I think low effort crypto Twitter is dying, and GM posts qualify as low effort CT. Like, I am guilty of making GM posts as well, because why not? Why not? Yeah, mindshare matters, but market share matters more. And I don't think that the future is about fewer creators in this space, but it's more about fewer empty. Still gives me panic attack to bridge from one chain to another, because there is this brief amount of time when your money is gone, but there is still that sense of fear that you're going to lose it, and it still is in me. I mean, I do this every day, and I use different chains, I use different wallets, and I really get what a normie would feel if they had to do all of this stuff. Like you said, the UPI that India has built, the Indian government has built, the way we transact in India, like even with person who is selling grocery on streets, everyone has their QR code. It's so easy, it's seamless.
I remember when demonetization happened in India, when the 2,500 rupee notes became worthless overnight. There were a lot of people from banks sitting people down and saying, hey, this is a UPI app, and with this you can send money from person to person. They did this in every local language. They did this in every office space. They did this in community centers. This was massive undertaking of human to human communication in order to onboard people. And I think we've never done this in crypto. And I think this is something that is so long overdue. Hi. Welcome back to Is This the New Internet? This is your host, Marv, and I'm joined by an amazing guest today. You might know that I'm a marketer in the crypto space. When I started out in the agency life, there were a few people at the company that I was at, Blockwiz, that really stood out to me. So when I had a podcast and a chance to talk to a former peer, well, current peer, we're always peers, right? About influence and their experience in the space, today's guest was a standout. So please put your hands together for Priyal Jain.
Hello.
Priyal is a marketing phenom. Like, she's incredible at her job. And, whenever we onboarded clients, Priyal's session was just me being completely silent, just listening, because she knew everything what was up. If any dots needed to be joined, Priyal knew exactly how to do that. So it's my absolute privilege to introduce Priyal to you today. So Priyal, welcome to the podcast. Would you mind telling the folks a little bit about yourself?
Thanks for that crazy, amazing intro, Marvin. And yeah, we are always going to be peers. You're right about that. Okay, so I'm Priyal. I'm currently marketing manager at Omni. It's a Web3 marketing agency. I've been in crypto since 2017. I was an investor earlier, more of an investor trader, and I really entered the Web3 marketing space in early 2022 at Blockwiz, where we used to work at. My entry point was performance marketing, but it was just an entry point. As I started working across more and more Web3 projects, my role naturally expanded. Today, I am a marketing manager. In practice, it's much closer to how a CMO thinks, operates, and handles clients. Basically, I'm responsible for the success of the projects I work with as a whole, and not just one channel. So that's why the way I think about marketing now is long-term momentum rather than short-term spikes, and that's what I believe in personally.
Mm-hmm. And that's an incredible point, because crypto is so much about these short, hyper-focused cycles, right? And what you just said seems to be in a stark opposite to what we see online, because social media is like a bit of a war zone, kind of, where you need to get your word out before the next announcement comes in and just completely overshadows what you need to do. Like, projects seem to have a bit of a flash in the limelight. So I'd love to get into the details of that. But let's get a little bit more into your philosophies because we all see the bursts, but how does one create something that sustains attention in this space? And how do you try to optimize whatever you're doing to achieve that?
It's more of an experience that you get, honestly. Like once you have done enough campaigns, you instantly know what would work and what would not, like just looking at it. So
Mhm.
that is one, but in reality, it has nothing to do with how many dollars are you spending towards marketing, but it's a lot more than that. Most of the work that happens, it happens before you even spend a dollar. Step one is always product market fit. Understand who the audience actually is, how they behave, where they are spending time, whether the product in hand it's solving a real problem for them. Once that's clear, everything else flows from it. The messaging, the creative direction, branding. At the same time, when you're setting up foundations, you make sure that all your distribution channels are ready, attribution is in place. Make sure you have visibility into what's actually driving behavior. Once you do that, only then you start testing across channels, you start testing messages, creatives, you start building funnels that are specific to your audiences, of course. And because attribution is never 100% perfect in crypto, you have to work with patterns, you have to work with proxies rather than dashboards. Of course, dashboards are necessary, but you can't rely 100% on them like you used to do in web to marketing. Once you do all of that, that's when performance marketing or marketing as a whole starts working actually and starts showing some kind of results, and it becomes kind of a system. Once it becomes a system, you know where to scale and where to cut back, and you keep doing that, you keep optimizing, and marketing becomes a machinery rather than a lever.
So I'd like to go down memory lane a little bit before we get into the weeds of how we market things, because we were together in Blockwiz. Blockwiz is an agency. A lot of us on the team were from India. We all worked really long hours because, being the marketing guys, we had clients in the East Coast and then clients of the world, like the furthest eastern parts of the world, and the further western parts of the world. So yeah, let's reflect on that a little bit. That was when I first saw you in full flow, like you showing me the exact little details of how marketing campaigns work. For anyone who uses the Brave browser, for example, whenever you open up a new page, you might see an ad there. There's a non-zero chance that you've seen an ad that Priyal orchestrated to be on there. So could you tell us a little bit about, these tools that a normal person might just not really know about? Like, what does a marketer in Web3 need to understand that regular marketers do not?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So first of all, the thing you said about working long hours, I'm still doing that being in India. I still work in EST time zone. You are lucky that you're in Canada and you don't have to stay up until 4 a.m. and wake up at noon. So good, like that's really good on your part. And regarding marketing tools, there was this post that I did on X that was my most engaging post. I wouldn't say it was viral, but I did this post about what tools to use for what marketing channel. Let's say that your marketing channel is paid media. Like I said, your first layer is attribution. Set up attribution, only then start anything else. Attribution means tracking things end to end. Basically, if you are running a campaign, you should know where your audience is coming from. You should know who they are, what their behaviors are, what geographies they are coming from, what are their demographics. Basically, understanding their behavior. So, like whatever I said was off chain metrics. And then we have on chain metrics like, you know, what kind of wallet they are using, what kind of chain they are using the most, what's their wallet balance, what is their behavior on chain. Are they interacting with a particular protocol? Are they interacting with some dApps? Are they using centralized exchange or decentralized exchange? One of the best tools that I've used is Safari. I'm an ambassador of Safari. It's not because I'm an ambassador, I'm, promoting it, but, it has been around since I got into performance marketing back in 2022, and I've seen the product grow. You can literally connect your Twitter account, and it's going to fetch all your followers. It's going to, map those followers to their wallets, and it's going to see whether or not these guys have visited your website, have connected their wallet. If they have, how much time they have spent. And then it's going to give them tags like, this person is basically ambassador for your product. This person is a whale. This person is churning. So, you get categories like that. And what you can do is you can use that information to align your messaging, to align your campaigns in order to basically make use of that data. Without this data, I don't think there are any decisions that you can actually make with regards to marketing in order to scale. So, data at all times is very, very important. I think it's the soul of any marketing campaign. If you're not collecting data, why are you even doing marketing? It's just wasting your dollars. Always make sure that whatever campaigns you are running, it has clear attribution. If not, if there is some reason that you can't set all of these things up, at least have off chain attribution, which is via Google Analytics, via pixels, etc., so that you can at least measure things like their session time, their engagement rate, and where they're coming from, etc., etc. The people you targeted, is your campaign working for them? If not, who are the people currently coming to your website? What are they doing? Like, if you want to take attribution even a step further, I would say install heat maps on your website, understand the behavior on your website, identify gaps, identify where the drop off is happening, identify the scroll depth, what areas are getting clicked the most. It really gives you insights on your UI, UX. You can make changes according to that. You can also see if there are any lags, speed issues with your website, with your product. So, yeah, like a lot of this is, proprietary Web2 knowledge. We are using it in Web3 as well, but then we are adding an element of on chain on top of it. So it's not rocket science. If you know basics of marketing, like attribution used to exist in Web2, it exists in Web3 as well. It's just not as clean as Web2. That's all. There are layers to Web3 attribution, I would say.
Yeah, so you've really given us some nice in-depth stuff about performance marketing. And I'm a content guy. I do content strategy. And it's like we're two sides of the same coin, effectively. Like,
Yeah.
I'm the one who's putting stuff out there. People need to see what we're putting out there. We use the networks that exist. And then you show us, okay, with this data, this person has come through these channels. It's been effective. Oh, we're finding people who might like our product, but how do we find the people who love our product? And this is where the marketing experience comes in, right? It is the course correction. It's the refinement. It is, oh, we see this worked well. This didn't perform as per our expectations, despite us thinking that this was a brilliant plan. What went wrong? How does this back and forth work in a current modern Web3 agency like Omni today? Is there like a playbook that you have to diagnose this was good, this wasn't that good?
There is no playbook, first of all, because Web3 is so dynamic, ever changing, narratives change. Social platforms also change, their algorithm changes. So there is no playbook of sorts. And even if we build one, it's not going to be relevant, I would say, 45 days later, because that's how dynamic this space is. But yeah, in order to measure, like, I'll tell you how we measure and how we optimize at Omni. Like I said, I just don't do performance marketing. I do all marketing channels. I maintain dashboards, performance dashboards on Looker Studio. So wherever and whenever I can, I kind of set up automations and I send that data to Looker Studio so that it's updated regularly. So one example is connecting your Looker Studio to Google Analytics, connecting your Looker Studio to all ads platforms, LinkedIn, X, Reddit, Meta, whatever. Third step would be, let's say email marketing. Let's say you're using a platform like Beehive. You can also connect Looker Studio to it and create an automation. That dashboard is reviewed every week by the team, by the client, my marketing team as well, my internal team as well. We really read that data, we gather insights, we understand what's working well, what's not working well, and we take decisions on what to scale and what to eliminate. So that is done on a weekly basis. Sometimes when the campaigns are very quick, there is a launch coming in, let's say there is a TGE or something like that. In that case, we tend to look at that dashboard on a daily basis, because every day we are announcing something. There is a Twitter space happening, a lot of traffic is coming through socials, a lot of traffic is coming through let's say listing websites like CryptoRank or ICO drops, etc. So in those scenarios, we tend to look at it on a daily basis, at least for, I would say, 1 or 2 hours. And we see what's working, what's not working. Let's say that there is not a lot of traffic coming from a listing website. Let's assume that. In that case, we don't stop it altogether. We'll maybe reduce our promoted ads budget over there, and we'll shift that budget elsewhere. So, yeah, it really depends on what kind of campaign you're doing. That would define what frequency do you want to basically schedule optimizations at.
Yeah, that was super comprehensive. Yeah, thanks. So, when we go online and we see accounts, let's say, for example, someone's talked about a project that, oh, yeah, this is really cool. And you check out their site. A lot of normies would just look at the follower count, and look at the likes on a post and say, oh, wow, this is a good account. Or this is not a good account. And that's like a very surface level way of reading it. But that's the kind of knowledge that most people have. So, as a marketer, what do you think of that? And is there something deeper that we should actually be looking for as both users as well as, potential users for a product?
I'll tell you how I judge an account. So whenever I open any X account, it can be a project, it can be a person, it can be a KOL. I'll just go to their profile, I'll read their bio at first. It's kind of an instinct that you get after working so long in this space, that like you can tell from bio whether or not this guy is going to be a legit person or not. The bio defines everything, in my opinion. For a project, after reading the bio, if I can understand what they do and what problem they're solving, that's it for me. We do X for Y. X being the solution, Y being the target audience. If they have defined their project in that manner, in their bio, I give them a thumbs up. I don't look at mutuals. I don't look at anything else. I'll maybe look at their content, but that kind of clarity, if a project has, that's a green flag, I would say. For a person, for a KOL, if I go to their profile, I look at their bio, I look at the mutuals that I have and quality of mutuals. So that is the biggest green or red flag that exists, at least for me. So if somebody like who is new to this space, who doesn't have a lot of mutuals, if they want to do this activity, I would say follow some of prominent, very good accounts, like tier one accounts in this space, in crypto space. It's not difficult to find these accounts. So mutuals is a really good way to understand whether or not this person or this project is going somewhere, has conviction. In this age, content has become very cheap. In the age of AI, taste is expensive. You have to find that difference whenever you're looking at any content. You have to filter for taste. Yeah, sure, it's going to be AI. I'm not saying that using AI is bad or anything. Everyone uses AI and everyone should use AI. It's kind of your second brain nowadays. Somebody who is using AI can tell whether or not this content is written by AI. So know that difference, I would say. If somebody has spent time making it human, yeah, that matters too. If you scroll through Twitter enough, whoever is chronically online on CT like me, they know. They know what I'm talking about. You know.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I think there's no substitute to just doing the work, right? You have to be there. You have to be embedded in this space. You have to make mistakes. Like, this is something that I think a lot of people don't understand. Like, you got to swing big, and sometimes swinging big doesn't land in the way that you hoped it would, but that's the process, right? That there's not a single person on crypto Twitter who's grown an account who's not deleted posts that haven't performed and had another stab at trying to do it in a better manner in the future. We're humans, and these are algos. These are black boxes that we do not understand what's going on underneath, and there's no substitute to just trying and trying again. So we've spoken a little bit about how people can gauge quality of accounts, and this is like useful advice for both experienced people in this space as well as newcomers. But I would like to focus on the newcomers because we sell to the same products to kind of the same people. At most, it's a few million people. How can we up that number to tens of millions, to hundreds of millions, maybe even a billion? And I kind of think that we need to make them care about what we do. So what should a newcomer care about what's happening in the crypto space? What is worth their attention for them to do the same kind of onboarding rite of passage that we did, which is like 10 hours a day in crypto, just obsessed about, oh, wow, what's this? What do you think is that secret sauce today to get people interested?
Yeah, I mean, the barrier to entry, like in crypto space, is very high. Still, it was the same way when I entered this space. I mean, it was overwhelming. It was confusing.
Lo, just a quick interruption in your episode. If you're listening on YouTube, I'd love it if you gave me a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed. Same thing with any other podcast platforms that you might be listening on. A subscription and a rating would go a really long way. We're hosted on Spotify, so make sure you're recommending us to your friends as well. Thanks. Back to the episode.
I think the mistake we make is that we are pretending people need to understand blockchain to get started. People really need to understand the tech in order to get started, but actually they don't. They actually need to understand the why Web3 as a whole gives them a better shot than the systems that they already are in. They just need to understand the main reason why. And I think crypto is the way to participate in internet economy, I would say, to earn, to invest, to build. I think the messaging needs to change. I don't think we have to, make the experience so scary, because this happened with somebody I was trying to onboard into crypto. I actually wanted somebody in my friend circle to try this crypto casino that I was marketing, and it was really great. I was having very like a lot of fun marketing that particular casino, and I wanted my friend to try it. So I just asked him, just make a wallet, like just create a phantom wallet or a MetaMask wallet, like just have a soul wallet and just connect it. It's very easy. It's like 2 steps process. And he's like, oh, it's asking me to, download this extension. Yeah, he got scared. He's like, if I put money into this, will I lose it? So yeah, it's very difficult like that for any newcomer to, trust crypto as a technology. Till date, if I'm going to family gatherings and people ask me, what are you doing? Where are you working at? If I tell them that I work in crypto marketing, they'll ask me, oh, Bitcoin? Like, no, I work in blockchain tech, in marketing. I help launch projects. I do go to markets for tokens. They don't get it. I have to always explain every single person in my family and in my friend circle that crypto is not a scam, because that's the way it's perceived, at least now. Like in India, especially, there have been some exchanges. I don't want to name them, but they have frozen many people's assets. So, at some point of time, many people tried their hand in at least, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Many people that I know have tried their hands investing in these assets, and they have been drugged, they have been scammed, and now they don't want to trust it again. And honestly, I think there is this gap in crypto space even now. I don't think we are making any product that solves a problem that Web 2 is already not solving. I mean, people have everything that they need. We are not doing anything special. Whatever we do, most of the products that we build, like there is already a version of it that exists in Web 2 space, which is more, regulated, which is kind of protected. Like if it goes south, these guys have their options to, save themselves, but it's not like that in crypto. And that's the reality we are living in, which is why I think the consumer pool in this space is super small. And in order to expand this, Web3 has to feel like uh, a safe space. Number one, like the onboarding in Web3 has to be super duper easy. It should not feel like, they're going to a war, because right now it does feel like that. Creating wallets should be as easy as creating your Google account.
Like I found UPI coming in to India was like a massive hindrance to the crypto space taking foot in terms of us using it just to like, oh, a few of us friends go out for dinner. Hey, you paid for it. Let me settle up with you by sending you some Ethereum. Even today, that's a weird statement to make among friends. And my friends know I've been doing this for years. They've seen me do this for years. They ask me, hey, should I buy now? But it's always about buying and selling. It's never about buying, keeping, using, participating. Like the buying and selling part seems to be a massive hurdle because you feel like your money is going. But once the money
Yeah.
is in, the money is circulating, you're participating, like it still is money, but it kind of feels like it's taken on a different level of utility. Can
Yeah.
you explain to those who haven't felt that, like what it feels like operating in this space for you? Just because swapping, bridging, all this for me seems like, oh, it's fine. I have, Ethereum on every chain. If something needs to happen, it's just simple. Just click, 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 it's done. Oh, wait, you want me to have something on the Gnosis chain for this app that you're using? Sure, just give me 1 minute. I need to bridge it. Don't worry. Like for us, what seems like just a walk in the park for a lot of people is stress inducing. And what you said about embedded wallets, I think, is super useful. But like UI UX is, it's more than that. It's like psychology. It's like what are we doing to make people feel safe?
Actually, it's not easy. I would say it still gives me panic attack to to bridge from one chain to another, because there is this brief amount of time when your money is gone and
Yeah.
it's not received on the other side, and you feel that it will come, right? Yeah, it will come, it should come, I have the hash, it's going to come. But there is still that sense of fear that you're going to lose it, and it still is in me after, you know I mean, I do this every day, and I use different chains, I use different wallets, like I still feel 98% safe in my head, but 2% that panic and that fear is always going to be there. And I really get what a normie would feel if they had to do all of this stuff. One of my friends, I've sent them funds from here to there, and I had to onboard them into downloading an exchange, and then make them understand that you have to send me this address, it has to be a USDC pair. Why can't it be USDT, he asks. No, it has to be USDC because I'm sending you USDC. And like they'll be sending me addresses and stuff, and they'll not understand the UI UX of that exchange as well. What is a spot wallet? And it's so confusing, and then they'll call me again the next day that I forgot, I can't see my balance on my account. Oh, it's in your spot wallet. What's that? And then I have to tell that all over again. And the person I'm talking about, he is, I think, a 45-year-old QA specialist in a tech company. So he has brains. He knows how to operate tech, how to operate these apps, etc. He has built some of those, but still it's confusing for him to navigate through these apps that we have built in this space. So I think we ourselves have built these walls. In my opinion, it's the only barrier to entry. if like you said, the UPI that India has built, the Indian government has built, the way we transact in India, like even with person who is selling grocery on streets, everyone has their QR code. It's so easy. It's seamless. Uh, you don't need to educate somebody to use that app. People know it naturally. It's instinctive.
Yeah. So I like to touch on what you said about, people on the street in India, like
Yeah.
your grocers, your rickshaw drivers. It's like literally every single person almost has a smartphone right now. What you said about people knowing how to use it, I also think that there was a lot of meaningful effort being put in to educate people. I remember when demonetization happened in India, when the 2,500 rupee notes became worthless overnight, there were a lot of people from banks in plazas and office buildings sitting people down and saying, hey, this is a UPI app. You need to install this. And with this, you can send money from person to person. They did this in every local language. They did this in every office space. They did this in community centers. This was a massive undertaking of human to human communication in order to onboard people. And I think we've never done this in crypto. And I think this is something that is so long overdue. We've had Bitcoin since 2008. Yes, fine. Those early days, crypto was punk rock. It was whippersnappers. It was us going against the grain. But now with crypto becoming so mainstream, do you think that we need to do something like this? And where do we start if we do?
It brings back memories. Demonetization and introduction of UPI in our country. I think, yeah, something like that would really work. You're right. But how? Like, it has to be done not only in a single country, but all over the world. And I think in order to do that, I think governments will have to be on board with the idea of crypto for starters.
Mhm.
I think many governments are. I know there are many places where there are Bitcoin ATM machines. I have heard. I have not been to West, but I have heard. You must tell me, but yeah,
I've
I've
used
heard.
one actually in
Yeah,
Canada. I've used one. One of my previous podcast guests, they were actually the people who set up one of the first sets of Bitcoin ATMs over here. And it's it's not an experience that you would be happy with, probably, because you're very much a crypto native using these tools online the way they were. But if you feel like getting crypto to cash, it works. Is it a perfect system? No. But then again, we're bridging two worlds together, right? There's always going to be some sort of a friction.
in order to do this, there has to be a massive awareness. First of all, uh, the narrative has to be shifted from crypto being a scam to crypto being a safe space. That is one. And in order for that to happen, there has to be some kind of, I don't know, some kind of a campaign. If I was a marketer and if I were to do that, I would do a lot of UGC content, like a lot of short form UGC content in order to get people on board, especially young people who are on their phones all the time. Yeah. After that, educating people can work. But then again, there has to be like the onboarding process in crypto is still the same. It has come very far from where we started. It has been a lot easier than it was. And I think we still need to get to a place where it becomes, yeah, even my mom can understand it. If we are there, I think only then we can start, like not educating, but basically pushing people to use it. I think now if we try to do it, we'll push ourselves in a ditch from where we'll not be able to come back.
Yeah, so I think what we've done so far in our chat is cover
Mhm.
what, people on the outside of the crypto space looking in. With your expertise, I kind of want to get deep into some stuff because
Okay.
you're navigating this industry on a daily basis and you see a lot of the happenings around there. Like you plan a week, 2 weeks in advance, then a big announcement happens and you got to course correct immediately. And I think one of those big announcements that happened was the perceived war on crypto Twitter by the Twitter platform almost, where the head of X, Nikita Bier, said crypto Twitter is, and I quote him, crypto Twitter is dying from suicide, not the algorithm. And this is because a lot of crypto Twitter people are noticing a massive drop off in engagement, in seeing posts from people who they normally see posts from, but we're just not seeing it. And he's blamed stuff like spam, GM posting, which I think is awful. Like, yo, the space runs on GM posting. Like, so what's your take on, first is diagnosis? And I think the big question though is, if Twitter, where we've built so much value, is being seen as a space that might not be where we build in the future, how do us as not just marketers, but builders and participants in the space, what do we do? How do we gauge the situation?
What Nikita Bier did, I think I agree with the diagnosis. I don't agree with the delivery of it, but I do
Hmm.
agree with the diagnosis. It wasn't as good as it was before InfoFi. At least
Hmm.
my feed wasn't.
I think we should explain to the folks what InfoFi is, because I think it is going to form quite a bedrock of our conversation going forward. So, yeah, in your own words, what is InfoFi? What did it do well? And where did the problems come up?
Okay. So I think InfoFi platforms came into existence in early 2024, if I'm not wrong, or maybe late
Hmm.
2023. Platforms like Kaito, Cookie Snaps, etc., came into existence. Actually, these platforms they did not only onboarded creators, but they created a creator economy, which was really great, which kind of enabled creators to participate in campaigns that you know these platforms were hosting, campaigns being from projects like Polkadot, from projects like Sentient, uh, Sophon, etc. And these guys used to run a year long campaigns on these platforms. And the more you post about it, the more meaningful content you post about those projects on Twitter, the more mindshare you'll get. And the more mindshare you get, the more you're going to earn. It kind of created a lot of buzz in this space in early 2024. Oh, how many smart followers do you have? I have these many smart followers. This is my smart engagement, etc., etc. These kind of terms came into existence, and a lot of way it has helped. But over time, it got saturated. Saturated in the sense that the fine line between real content, like basically what these creators believe in versus them doing stuff just for the money, it kind of got blurred. And I personally perceived like if I'm looking at a creator's profile and all I see is them participating in these campaigns like hosted by Kaido or Snaps, I would immediately think that they don't have conviction in this project. They're just doing it for the mindshare, for the money. Early on I used to think, wow, that's great, people working for mindshare, that's great. These tools enabling creator economy, that's great. A lot of people were making their full-time salaries via these platforms. They were not relying on KOL managers or agencies to get work. So all in all, in theory the idea was really good. It worked for a while as well. The product market fit was good, but it kind of saturated like everything does in this space. Narratives change super quickly. I think Twitter noticed this happening as well, which is why Nikita Bier's announcement happened that they are going to basically stop this InfoFi activities happening on Twitter for good. Like I said, I agree with the diagnosis made by him. I did not agree with the delivery. But in my opinion, crypto Twitter is not dying. I think low effort crypto Twitter is dying, and GM posts qualify as low effort CT. Like I am guilty of making GM posts as well, because why not? Why not? Some like you don't have something to say every single day. Sometimes it's just a GM,
And we
and it's
work from
good.
home, right? We work from home. Right? We don't get to say good morning to actual people other than your partner.
Exactly. I am pro GM, I would say, but if somebody's profile is just GMs, then it's a red flag. It's just shilling. So yeah, I mean, personally, as a marketer, I never advised my clients to rely on them alone. although the investment was huge for these, like for participating via these platforms. So from an ROI perspective, I know that if I'm putting my client's money somewhere, I need to get the best value of it. And I think if like I actually think of my client's money as my own. So if I were to put money into Mindshare versus market share, yes, of course I would put money into Mindshare, but there, like, it's not going to be $150,000. No, I'm going to put 20% of my budget, maybe 10%, and the rest of the budget is going to go towards market share because that's where the real ROI is going to come. Yeah, Mindshare matters, but market share matters more. And I don't think that the future is about fewer creators in this space with this announcement, but it's more about fewer empty loops that it had created.
I noticed that, in crypto, when something is new and novel, it does really, really well. And then because of the ease of, forking code and copying things, and you don't patent an idea, right? It's it's unpatentable. And even then, like, patent processes are so legal, crypto doesn't kind of work in those ways. So a good thing gets used and overused, and then people kind of get a little sick of it. And I found the time span where that happened with InfoFi was so condensed. It was, and you said narratives change all the time. And it was like from, oh, wow, this is the greatest thing, to, oh my God, get this off my feed. That was like a year. And like, is
Not
this
even a year.
sustainable? Not even a year. Like, is this rate of change sustainable? Like, how much more novel stuff are we going to bring to the table before we start, finding retention? Like, I'm not expecting an answer for that. It just feels that so rapid, like, because building things takes time, building communities takes time. If as a wider space we're flip-flopping, like, where does this leave room for that meaningful development that can bring in the new people? Because we're not expecting a newbie to be plugged in all the time. If you have any thoughts on how we can find a balance, like, because I know this is a very open-ended philosophical question I'm posing, but like, finding a concrete something is tricky in a space that moves so fast.
I really think that um, if we take the example of these InfoFi platforms only, I really think that there were there were opportunities for them while this was serving. There were opportunities for them to regulate it, to control this, and basically to make sure that what they're doing is going in the right track. They did try to do that with some updates in the platform, but I think a major upgrade would have been them moving from, not moving, but evolving into more of a market share kind of a platform wherein the ROI for a client makes sense. I think some protocols to handle spam that was coming into X, if that would have happened, I think the APIs would still be there. I might be wrong, but something had to be done. So algorithm change, I think it happened because of the spam, but then Twitter announced articles, and then Twitter announced 1 million reward for articles. So they changed the algorithm, but the incentive mentality still remains. They are themselves pushing the incentive mindset all over again, which makes me think that they were simply jealous of these InfoFi platforms making money, and they wanted to make money. The high horse that they were sitting on, that, oh, we don't like InfoFi and how it's monetizing Mindshare and stuff, but you are doing the same thing. Like I said, it was benefiting the creator economy in so many ways. So many ways. I've seen so many nano creators make a living out of it, and it was good. It just needed to be regulated. Yeah, I'm not going to miss it, to be very honest, but it was
Mhm.
not all bad, I would say.
I'd like to move on from Twitter because, our space is known for like being resilient because crypto doesn't have a single point of failure. And I kind of find that we've consolidated so much of our effort as an industry onto Twitter. And this is a pretty timely conversation because we've seen, some pretty big reports recently about, firstly, Vitalik's manifesto on using more decentralized social. And just in the few hours after that, Farcaster announced their acquisition by Naynar, with the leadership stepping back. Farcaster is not down, but the leadership is changing, just like Lens, another decentralized platform, with the leadership change. Each of these platforms has had a bit of a moment in that people said, oh, this is where crypto Twitter will live in the future. While it hasn't really panned out like that, I'm not against the idea, right? Because I don't want to put all my eggs in the Twitter basket. Like, I do find Twitter a little tiring sometimes. While I have friends on there, there's just a lot of noise to navigate as well. So, what are your thoughts on this? Like, how can we make our marketing, our message less platform dependent and be a little bit more resilient to mimic these very tools that we're trying to sell?
I don't think any of these platforms that you mentioned are closer to, replacing X, to be very honest. Why? Because X still is like a first point of discovery for any crypto project or any person entering crypto. Blue Sky, Farcaster, Lens, yeah, these platforms have showed us that there is a demand for higher signal spaces for sure, but they don't really have that density yet of users. They have been in this space since very long, but the shift has not happened. I think platform strategy is more about depth and not about reach. How you are conveying your message and how that message is perceived is more important than a message being circulated to, 3 million reach of an audience. So I think the depth of that message is important. And I think community and trust usually move into that direction, into more intentional smaller environments, which is why X stays as discovery point, and naturally the important conversations moves into communities like Telegram, like Discord, into private groups, even DMs. So I don't see in near future any other platform doing the same thing as X in terms of discoverability. So that's my
Mhm.
thought. Like, not now, at least not now, just because there is no density.
Okay. Yeah, I also agree with you. It's like the network effect that X has created is just so strong, right? Everyone goes there automatically. And of course, these other platforms will definitely have their places, but Farcaster is very niche for builders and people who like trying early products that may not be polished, but you can be there as part of the building process. No one on crypto Twitter especially seem to particularly like Discord, and it's another thing that
I
people almost tolerate just to make sure that they can engage their community. I love Discord, so I can spend a lot of time on there. So while I don't see the criticism as much, I don't feel that criticism as much. I can see where it's coming from because it can get overwhelming with so many different networks splitting your attention. But of course, I do think that's a feature as well rather than a bug, because it is a chance for deeper development. Like what you said was very key about reach. But I think reach is just one metric. And reach doesn't equal the sale. It is a constant nudging, it's a nurturing of someone who might be considered a lead. Like you might need to see the same ad 3 or 4 times before you make a purchase decision. And I think that's intentional because we as human beings, we're not going to just rush into things. Like because of the scams that we've seen on Twitter, the bad experiences people have had, we're not going to dive headfirst into anything. So, is there something that we can do to make this process of finding cool stuff a little bit less tiring? Like, are there any accounts that you think have a really good handle on what's good in this space that any newbies who are listening to this podcast might see as an actionable person to follow, engage with, and just sort of build out from there?
I think there are some resources that I have been following since I got into Web3 marketing, starting with newsletters like Milk Road, like Bankless, The Defiant. These are my go to newsletters for Signal, for finding cool stuff, for reading stuff that actually matters, that's real and in a fun way. Like Milk Road is super fun for me
Mhm.
to read. It's solid daily highlights and zero noise rather than scrolling through crypto Twitter to find stuff. I would start with Milk Road. Once I have the feel for narratives, once I have the feel for macros, I'll go to Bankless. And once I want to understand what's happening on a project level, I would go to Defiant, I would say. So yeah, I think it's a good pulse check to simply go through these newsletters, maybe skim through it for anybody
Hmm.
who is new in this space and who is trying to find alpha. I also have subscribed to this Telegram channel called The Good Reads, which specifically shares really good X content. I have very limited time to scroll through Twitter because I'm working on so many clients, on so many projects. I only am able to do it for research purposes, or maybe during weekends or so. So yeah, I think that particular channel has helped me a lot. Like for any person who is new into this space, Web3 marketing space, I would also ask them to basically follow these data attribution tools like Nansane and Dune dashboards. Um, because these aren't just dashboards, they help you to connect narrative with behavior. It really makes you understand what the audience is doing. Uh, Both amateurs and pros who like to do postmortems. I really like, uh backtracking stuff. Dashboards are really, really helpful, especially Dune. I mean, I love how you can create dashboards for yourself. You can scroll through others' dashboards, and you just type a query that's in your mind, and it has always happened with me that somebody already has
Hmm.
a dashboard for it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's fun to read those dashboards. It's really fun, especially from a strategy point of view. I also like these content that Zach XPT posts, basically, uh you know
The scam
dissecting.
buster.
Yeah, dissecting stuff. Even Star Platinum Soul does that, and it's really fun. If you are looking for the entertainment bit in crypto, I would
Mhm.
go to those profiles. It's a fun read every single time. I would say there are really good accounts on crypto Twitter. For example, I think Nairolf is a really good CT account. I have notifications on for him. I have notifications on for Whale Mocha. They do meaningful content. They don't just shill. There are many, many profiles like that come to my mind, and maybe I can share a list of meaningful crypto accounts with your podcast that people can follow. And, there are many people that do real writing. I think you should also follow Marvin's Substack. It's really a
Hmm.
fun read as well.
Thanks, thanks. But yeah, like those are some solid accounts. Yeah, I can like vouch for all the ones you said. I'm already following, I think, all of them because yeah, they are really clear voices in this space. And yeah, so I want to look a little bit ahead. You know, 2026, we're just getting the ball rolling. 2025 didn't really live up to some of our expectations about super cycles and everything. What excites you about the year to come? As someone who's so plugged in, you're getting, you can see things from a very close vantage point. So is there something that is brewing that you think we should keep our eyes
Yeah,
peeled for?
I think the GameFi space is brewing hot. The casino space in crypto is brewing hot. I think it started in 2025 itself, but I see more hype now. I see a lot, I see a really big streamer economy that is perceived as meaningful in this day. Yeah, I think GameFi space is really building the streamer economy in Web3. I think Kick is a platform that I am really following nowadays. I'm following streamers. I'm also excited about the exit of InfoFi. I wasn't expecting that, but I want to see what it unlocks. I think it gives a lot of room to breathe, less incentive driven noise and more space for substance. But yeah, again, I wish the 1 million pool wasn't there while I say that, but it's there, which is why my feed is full of articles nowadays, and my attention span is not built for all of those articles. I can't read all of them.
Mhm.
Q1 of 2026, I don't know, crypto cycles and time in crypto is super fast. So I can't say much about after March, but until March, that's where I'm logged in.
Okay. Awesome. Yep. Take notes, folks. These are the new happenings of 2026. Stay on top of all the news and make sure you're following Priyal to make sure that you're getting most up to date info on all these aspects that are being discussed. So, both of us are Indian and we've worked from India in crypto. We've worked with international brands as well. And something that, I found quite worrying about the space, honestly, is, the people tend to be pretty mean on Twitter in general, but it seems to be that they reserve a lot of the extra meanness for people from India. And Indians have contributed a ton to this space. Some of the best builders I know are based in India, and they've really shipped some incredible products. And like, it is racism, right? It is pretty bad stuff that's been normalized. I see a lot of big accounts that kind of use slurs and pretty derogatory language against Indians. And, since the two of us are here on this platform chit chatting, it's like, should other South Asians kind of in positions of power be doing a little bit? Like, I see Satvik, who's behind offline protocol, who's almost seems to be our lone soldier in calling out this bad behavior. And it's like, what can we do? And I think most importantly, like, we're not going to go away. We love this space. Like, despite, the Indian government not particularly liking crypto, despite them making it quite difficult for us to participate, there's a lot of us who are on board with the big vision. We want to see crypto succeed and we want to contribute to that success. So what can we tell to people in South Asia who believe in this space, but it feels like the space doesn't believe in them? Like, what can we do to build credibility? What can we do to, reach across the aisle? What can we do to show that, you know, there is true substance that we're bringing to an industry that needs more substance?
Yeah. I mean, yes, racism is real, and I'm glad we are talking about it. I think a lot of it shows up very casually, like without us even knowing, in jokes, in stereotypes, dismissing language, and it's normalized. And which is why I think people don't call it out. Even I kind of step back from calling it out, but it's definitely there. Part of the reason is that crypto is very online and very performative. People say things they wouldn't say to other people in real life. So that's how it is. And I think what we can do, it's important to not internalize it, not take it to the heart. That is one. And it's important to not let it shrink to how visible we are. The most effective response I have seen is competence and consistency. When your work is solid, when you're good, your thinking is clear. Like you said, a lot of builders are from India. A lot of really hardworking people I know in the space are from India. They show up, they work hard, they deliver, and it really becomes hard, like for for this space to ignore or dismiss you with those stereotypes. I think what happened with Thiru ahead of DEFCON is a classic example of what we are speaking about. And I really loved how the community showed up. A lot of it was kind of FOMO driven because, like, this person is supporting, so I should also support. But still, I'm glad that people supported him. I'm really glad. South Asian people in positions of power should really do more uh, to defend this, not in a very loud manner, but by opening doors, by amplifying talent, and by not pretending that the issue does not exist. As much as ever, representation matters, and backing people matters even more. I think South Asians are some of the most hardworking and intelligent people that I have worked with. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not saying it just because I am South Asian, I or Indian. I'm saying that with experience. I have worked for more than a decade now. Uh, Not just in Web3, but in Web2 as well, across different roles, markets. So, my first piece of advice for anybody who is an Indian or South Asian would be to not underestimate yourself. Like, you don't need to shrink or over explain or try to blend in order to earn credibility in this space, because the most powerful way to do that is via proof of work. Like, I have faced this myself as well so many times. Pick a clear lane, go deep enough, and share your learnings, be vocal. Don't just try to fit in, and don't do it for the cloud, but for yourself, for your clarity, and be consistent doing that, because over time people will see your work, people will start trusting you, your judgment. And in crypto, I think trust is what compounds, because that's actually your reputation. Build that, and I would say ignore everything else, because you can't do anything about it, really.
Thank you. That was incredibly well thought out. And for any South Asian listeners over here who are making their way in the crypto space, stick with it. Priyal has been there, done that in this space. And she's incredibly good at what she's done. And it is that talent and that hard work that is showing through. Every day is a new day for you to do something great in this space. Crypto moves so fast, the opportunities are going to be there before you even know it. So keep trying, keep putting in the good work, and you should be recognized. Before we call it a day for our recording today, could you tell us a little bit about where we can find you online, the spaces in which you're active, and the sort of stuff that you're cooking up at Omni that we should be looking out for?
Yeah, so you can find me on X. My handle is Priyal Jain 817. You can also contact me on Telegram. I'm always up for, you know, helping other folks in marketing. If ever you have any questions, if ever you think that you're stuck somewhere, feel free to reach out. I usually respond within 24 hours. If I don't, eventually will, because I am that person who responds to everybody. So never ever shy away from sending me a DM. I'm all for helping other people in the space as much as I can. About Omni, I have been with Omni since 2023, and I'm marketing manager here. Omni is a Web3 marketing agency. We have helped our clients raise 75 million in last year. We are pro in TG marketing. We are pro in iGaming marketing. Look us up at omniagency.ca. And I think you'll definitely find some good work that we did in past over there, and some good work that we are still doing over there as well. And yeah, I think for any projects that are looking for quality work, if you guys are listening, you should definitely consider working with Omni. I it's one of the, like, I am a person who has worked with many agencies, with uh, like, even in corporate, I have 11 years of work experience, and this team is something else. I don't say it just because I'm working there, but I've seen it. And our clientele right now speaks for it.
And yeah, Canadian agency, we got to support local folks. I had the pleasure of meeting some of Priyal's teammates as well. And I can absolutely vouch that these are a passionate bunch trying to build something that we can all really be proud of as an industry. So, Priyal, thank you so much for joining. Have you got any, parting words of wisdom that we can leave the folks with? Some food for thought that they can chew on until my next episode.
Don't underestimate yourself. Whatever you're doing, be consistent, be persistent, and whatever you're working on, keep doing it. Your work speaks for yourself. It's always going to compound in ways that you can't even imagine. It has happened with me, and it's still happening with me. I sometimes it feels unreal that I'm working in this space, and yeah, I'm super duper grateful being a software engineer turned into a e-commerce seller, turned into a web 2 marketer, turned into a web 3 marketer. I would say that if you are young, if you don't know what you want to do, try different things. Something is going to work out. Something is definitely going to work out. Don't stop trying, and you'll find your way. And if you are in web 3, you are in a great place, and keep building, and be hungry, be curious, keep the hustle on, and yeah, you'll get there.
Amazing. On that incredible note, thank you so much for joining me today, Priyal. Um, we shall be signing off for today. This is this the new internet with Marv in cold, snowy Canada with -25 and a winter storm coming up. So you folks stay warm, stay safe, stay optimistic, and I'll catch you really soon. Thanks so much for listening. I appreciate all ratings, thumbs up, shares on whichever platform that you're listening to this. Don't forget to subscribe if you're on YouTube. Those subscriptions really help with the visibility of my channel. If you like this, then I think you're going to love my Substack because I get into more detail on things. I try to publish as frequently as I can because there's just so much happening online. I won't promise to have all the answers, but what I can do is promise that I can show you the journey that we're going on so you can reach your own conclusions. There's plenty more episodes where this came from, so enjoy. Catch you on the next one. Cheers.